in Imola, and I can tell you it is very cold. It's extremely cold today. Let me give you a quick look out here. This is out to the street. That's one direction. That's the other direction. There's a bit of merriment out there. So we're waiting for your questions to pop up in the feed here. I went to the track yesterday and had a quick look. It was fantastic. Hello to San Antonio, to Croatia. Well, most of them were. I went for a little walk, but it was bloody cold. And there's not a great deal to do here because of the fact that they're in lockdown. But I did find these. Now, any Australians will be interested in these. Now, we know these as twisties, but here they're called Fonzies, and they're exactly the same thing. Quite nice. Thank you to my members for being involved today. Super Chat gets you to the top of the list if you want to get your question answered. Is it going to rain on Sunday? Yes, and it's going to only be 14 degrees. Well, that's what the forecast says. So 14 degrees, rain. I'm going to be wearing all of this kit, I promise you. Hello from Belgium. I bet it's a bit colder up there today. And thank you for becoming a member, Kelly. I certainly appreciate that. Do you expect more overtaking than last year? I've got no idea what's going to happen. I really was fascinated with the track though, because on some sides of the track, there's hardly any room to move around. I don't know what our access is going to be like, but I will know shortly. Hello to Dubai. In fact, I'm now missing the warmth of Bahrain. I can never be happy if it's too hot. I'm whinging, and if it's too cold like now, I just stay inside. Saudi Arabia. Hello, who's from Saudi? Right, hello to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm looking forward to the Jeddah race. I think it's going to be something quite amazing. I won't get caught up in all the politics of it, but I think in terms of just going there, it'll be very interesting. It's completely different. Hello, Scotland. How many pizzas have I had? Oh, too many. I had one last night. I've also had nothing but pasta, really, because there's very little open. And what amazes me, and if you're in Europe, you'll probably know this, but Australians, this is surreal. There's nowhere to sit. When you go outside, unless you find some wall that's about the right height, you can't sit anywhere. So whatever you buy to eat, you just have to bring it straight home and eat it. Hello, Mauritius. Good morning from California. AlphaTauri will be strong. I don't know. I did see some guys from the Faenza factory ordering pizza with me the other night, though. Jeddah's a nice place, apparently. Well, I'll find out when I get there. Hello to Ireland. In lockdown again, I believe. Evening from Malaysia. Yes, you're on the same time zone as Perth, so it is 10 p.m? Yeah, I think it's 10 p.m. Members, Super Chat people jump to the head of the queue, and I will answer your questions. Alpine wrecked both cars. How much you want to bet? Lucky Ducky, I see your name pop up a lot. Thank you for joining me. Hello from back home in Australia. Good to hear from you. Sydney people, if you're, or anyone on the East Coast, Melbourne or Sydney, discounting Brisbane because it's an hour earlier, but yeah, it's 1 a.m. there. So you've got to be pretty keen to be up. What have we got? How many people here on a Sunday afternoon? I'm going to do these regularly on a Sunday. And next Sunday after the race, I will do one because it'll be at a reasonable hour. Hi, Canada. Hi, India. Of course, I can tell you 6% of my followers are from India and about 18% from the UK, 13% from America, 5% from Australia. Have I scouted locations? No, I haven't been, not allowed to go into the track yet. I can't go in till tomorrow. I had to have a COVID test last Friday. That was in Bologna. And then I have to have another one at the track on Monday, and then I can go in. Hello, Eamon. Sounds like a good Irish name. I predict your channel blows up. Oh, I'd love it to go to 500k, but I doubt it, unless, Eamon, you have some sort of clout. But certainly, I would love to get that number of people following, because at the moment, I'm spending quite a bit of time sitting over here. In fact, I'm just finishing working on this little video. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Where is it? Let's go back to the start. Let's go all the way back here. So this is a Daniel Ricciardo video. So you got the first look at it, not yet finished, it'll go up later this evening, Italian time. Right, some questions. Class work, thank you for that. Victoria, British Columbia. Do you prefer sunny weather? Well, photographic wise, I don't mind shooting in the rain if I'm comfortable and I can do it without my cameras getting wrecked. So yes, I don't mind the rain. And the sun, look, it's pros and cons. You just really have to do what you're served up, don't you? Beggars can't be choosers. Hi from Indonesia. When will the Daniel video be out? I reckon 3 hours from now. I have only used Lightwork, not Lightroom. Oh, I don't know what. Any suggestions? No, I don't know what Lightwork is. I love Lightroom and I use Final Cut Pro. My son uses Premiere and is brilliant at it, but he does a lot more trickier stuff than I have a want to do. Hello to ex-Wogger. Arizona, really enjoy the insider view of F1. Well, I figure if I see it and it's interesting to me, I reckon there'll be other people who are interested because, let's face it, in the last year and a bit, very few people have seen a race. And even in a normal year, still very few people in the world get to see a race. Almost all of that market is watching it on television. Info at kimillman.com if you'd like to send me an email. And I'm looking forward to somebody sending me some clothes this week, a manufacturer, which is great because one of those things is a hoodie. And today you need a hoodie. It's freezing in here, let alone out there. Do I think Vettel will be replaced by Hülkenberg mid-season if he keeps making mistakes? No, I don't think that. You're the first person that's put that into my mind. So let's see how he goes this race. They need him to work, don't they? They've paid a lot of money for him. And but Lance has done pretty well, though. I was reading something today. Actually, I won't even go into that. That was a tangent. 229 people, thank you for joining me today. Some people from the UK. Somebody's studying for their driver's license. My gosh, I did that a long time ago. I'm glad I've done all that. Have I felt homesick any time during this trip? No, look, things have gone really well so far. I have no doubt that a number of things may happen because I'm going to be away for the best part of a year that'll make me feel homesick. But no, I'm thankful that I'm doing a lot of video work. It keeps me busy, and it keeps me very busy. So really, I can tell you I did walk 16 kilometres on Thursday and about 11 yesterday. I walked right around the outside of the track, just had a look, no one around, very quiet, had a look at all the high fencing, and it's quite amazing because you can see into the track. You can see the cars on the track by standing outside the track. But apparently they blockade all those roads with barricades come race days and you can't get in there to see through the fence, which is a bit of a bummer. Right, questions from you. Am I going to the British Grand Prix? I'm going to every race if I get accredited for every race. There's no guarantee, but being a permanent, only permanents can get accredited, but we have to apply every race to get accreditation because it might be that there are too many permanent photographers to get into every race. Fingers crossed. When was the first time you experienced snowy weather? Oh, I was a teenager. I went to Mount Hotham. I won a trip on radio. I went with my dad. First time he ever skied, he did about 20 minutes of it and hated it, spent the rest of the weekend in the bar, and I loved it. Right, I don't think the battle is as close as people think because during Bahrain, Max had a few disadvantages. So we think Max might be the front runner for this race. And if that's the case, that will be fantastic because if Max is a front runner and a real challenger, nothing to say that Sergio Perez couldn't do equally as well. He fought back pretty well, didn't he, last race? Made up a lot of positions and is a fighter. Canadian GP is not going to happen. I've had that feeling for a long time, but when are they going to call it off? We're March, April, May, June. We're 3 months away, aren't we? Yes, I just mentioned about Verstappen, so I won't go there. if you want to get your questions to the head of the queue, jump on Super Chat. And members, you got some exclusive content the other day that nobody else has seen. VIPs also get their names at the end of my videos. So it's worthwhile becoming a member. You get some benefits, including some wallpapers that come out every month. Do I buy souvenirs? No. I have no room to carry anything. At the moment, I've got too much now, and I'm at the start, unless I post them home, so there's no souvenirs. Yeah, it's freezing. It's bloody cold here. Sean, that's why I'm rugged up. What do you eat there? Pasta, pretty much. And you've just got to go out and buy something and bring it back. As I mentioned earlier, there's nowhere to sit and eat. But in Portugal, it's apparently going to have happened. We're going to have restaurants open, outdoor dining, and I'm pretty sure I'm now going to spend just a week in Lisbon. I've just rented an Airbnb, and it looks spectacular. Do I like the ice cream? Somebody told me to go and get an ice cream from a place that's just out here, not very far. And I went and got one last night. A bit rich for me, but thank you for the suggestion. 11th of April is the 28th anniversary of Seton's amazing opening lap at Donington. Well, I didn't know that. Well done for you knowing it. What am I doing there now? I'm just talking to you, pretty much, and finishing off an edit. Thank you to Kevin Muller, who's a new member. Your opinion on the sprint races. Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Something a little bit different. I just hope they don't go back to 2-day race weekends. I've come a long way, and I need to get my money's worth out of this. And it's very tricky getting photographs of drivers, as you can probably realise, because we only see them going in and coming out and on the track. Best rookie of the year, Yuki. We're shaped up pretty well. Let's see what happens. It's early days yet. Can we get a video on the watches? Yeah, but I don't have everyone's watch yet, and I've only had one race and one testing, so that's going to be a little bit of time. In fact, I asked one of the drivers the other day if he could send me a pic, so we'll see what happens. And how's the audio? I think I've got the right level set. Last time it was a bit loud. Have you been to Ireland? Yes, Northern Ireland, Alex, once. 1995 for the Young Business Achiever of the Year Awards. It was the World Awards, and I represented Australia, and it was lovely. I really enjoyed it. If they keep up 1-hour practice sessions, I think it will remain a 3-day weekend. Yeah, okay, good. Who do you think will be world champion? I think Max now. Driver's shoes, yes, but I don't have them, and very tricky to get them because the only time I see them is on the grid. And last race we had about a metre between the fence and the armco that we could stand and shoot the drivers on the grid. Now, I had a look yesterday and there's no gap. So I don't know how we're going to shoot the grid. I don't think we're going to have access. I think we're going to have to be shooting through wire, and that is bloody awful. I don't watch Premier League. I've got no way of seeing it unless I get Optus Vision out of Australia. What are my thoughts on the Red Bull Mercedes fight? Okay. I think... Oh, hello. I missed a... Oh, hello to Vettel Eggen from... Are you from Norway? I think you are from Norway. Thank you for super chatting us, and you've come to my attention with a very big green logo on the screen. I think Max will be the world champion. But Lewis, you can never discount him. He is very, very clever. If an F1 team reached out, no, it wouldn't be an F1 team photographer, because in the news you get shitloads of photographs of one team and nothing of anyone else, and you have to stay in their bubble. And anyway, they wouldn't have me. There are a lot of better photographers than me that would get those jobs, and I think what they're looking for is a brilliant photographer. I think I have a different skill set, more of a telling a story skill set. How do I feel when I'm trackside shooting? There's no stress. There's frustration, plenty of frustration when I'm standing there and I've been shooting for 5 or 6 minutes and I look at the pictures and I think, what have I wasted my time here for? They're just average photos. But it's a thrill. There's no doubt it's a thrill. It's knowing where to go, and that's why Tuesday or Wednesday I will spend a good part of the day at the track, and I will be really focusing on where the spots are. Previously I've done a track walk, but I do it too quickly, and I don't pay attention. It'll be different this time. Room 1 to 10, how exciting will the race be? Now, you tell me what you think. So, what? So did F1 assign you to McLaren for COVID, or no, they didn't assign me to anyone. No, I'm a freelancer, so I stay in the media bubble, and there's one photographer per team that's embedded with the team, and they have to eat with the team, be with the team. They can't associate with their colleagues in the media centre, and they get to have access to the garage, obviously. Pedro Chaps' favourite track to shoot, Monaco, and it's coming up shortly, and I believe we're going to race there, but there's still to be decided what percentage of crowd they're going to have. And they're very worried, I understand. All of the parties are worried that they don't want to be seen to have thousands of people crammed on boats and partying it up when Europe's in a bit of strife at the moment. So I have to be careful with that. I'll keep moving my glasses up for this. What system do I use to get the images from your camera back to the media centre? I only post a certain number of pictures immediately. I've got a couple of clients, a couple of drivers who need pictures immediately, and so I hit a button on my camera. So there's a set button on the back of this camera, and I'll hit that. It automatically goes from here to a dongle that's in my pocket, then it goes back to Perth, then it goes up to, depending on what setting I use on the camera, then it goes to a certain Dropbox, and then I can access the Dropbox, drivers and clients can access their Dropbox. So it's just a simple button press, but there's a lot of work that precedes that. That's the answer to your question. Always had the idea of wanting to become an F1 photographer. I don't know where to start. Well, no one does. You have to look and see what the FIA is looking for, but at the moment, even experienced photographers who are race by race can't get a gig. So I would suggest that now is not the right time, but who knows what the organisation will be looking for in years to come. Hard to tell. I don't think Tyler's going to win his bet now. He's no, I'm at 150 on Insta. We're talking YouTube. My son has a bet that he's going to have more YouTube followers than me at the end of the year, and if he does, I have to give him a Rolex. I think he's struggling a little bit now. He has to do more content, and obviously mine's up at 87 and a bit thousand. And I think I'll be at 100,000 in 7 weeks. Yeah, I reckon 7 weeks I'll be at 100,000. That's my hope and prediction. What will happen to Red Bull when Honda leaves? I don't know. How many DNFs do you think will happen next week? Look, my opinion is no better than anyone else's. I'll say 3 just to answer your question. Kim. Hey, Kim, best wishes. Oh, who was that from? I've got to get it back. Dennis Campbell, a regular on these. Now, Dennis, you're from America. Are you from Indianapolis? Is that where I remember you from? Nikita Mazepin, I noticed he liked on Instagram the funny thing I did recently with the drivers' cars. And I thought he's pretty good-natured about that. Yeah, who knows? Who knows how he's going to go this year? He didn't get off to a good start, as everyone knows. And I think his family will end up buying that team, and it'll be racing under a different name in a year or two. Rishi, hello. Hi with lots of eyes. Thank you for being a super chatter. If you've got any special questions you want me to answer, that's the way to definitely get them, because we're getting up to 500 people now, and a lot of you have questions. And I've got David from Canada, who's thankfully looking after the mediation of this and making sure that people toe the line. No, I don't think Vettel will win another championship. I'd like to see him get on the podium at some point. That'd be nice. Travel tips. I had a good one yesterday. You might have seen it in my video, talking about if they happen to cancel a flight on you, don't go and wait in a queue of 20 or 30 people at the airport to get rebooked. Get straight on to the phone or onto the internet and jump that queue, because it's... or go to the lounge, someone suggested, yes, if you remember. Which driver poses the most for your cameras? We used to be Nico, probably Pierre at the moment, but a lot of them are good. Valtteri always looks at me, and I am ever grateful for that. Charles often, Daniel often. So thank you to all of those gentlemen. It makes a big difference. Now this race, there are only 25 photographers, I believe. I could be wrong, but I understand about half the number that were at last race. Hence, it'll be a little bit easier to get photos, and I would imagine very few people will be posting them as quick as me. So I'll have a lot of your attention, touch wood. Right, Sebcap, who's your favourite driver this season and ever? Oh, this one comes up all the time, and I always say Nico because I had the best reactions from him in the last half of 2019. And this year, too early to tell. But look, there's no one that's ever rude. They're all polite guys. As I said, Lewis is always tricky to shoot because you never get a chance to chat with him because he's so busy. And he's always the centre of attention. Whereas someone like Latifi, that's a different matter. Nicholas doesn't have every photographer hounding him, so he often has a second to at least have a quick word to. Anyway, the job is not to have conversations with people, it's to photograph them, and they know that, and they're there to be photographed, and they should be using it for their best advantage. I'll move this a little bit. Do you have any hope for the Canadian Grand Prix? Well, I don't, but I can't believe they haven't cancelled it yet. Do I think Mick Schumacher will replace Sainz? No. You're the first person that I've seen suggest that. Here we go, a super chatter here. Dennis Campbell again. Kim, your son better get moving. I know. He put up a good video today that I watched about NFTs, and I am going to offer a few of my pictures as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Now, the younger members of the audience will know what that is. Others like me will need some education, but it allows you to sell pictures and the person actually owns that digital image. Anyway, it allows you to, it's like a piece of art and you can't replicate it. So I think I'm going to do my first one this week. I'll find out. My office is looking into it. Okay, they changed the track limits. If you go 4 wheels off white line, we'll get a warning. 3 of those, you can get a 5-second penalty. Rightio, thank you for that. Canon is the answer to you that question there. What is his YouTube? My son's YouTube channel name is Tyler, Tyler Illman. Tyler Illman. Go and have a look at his channel. He does some good stuff. He's a very good editor, and I think he just needs to do more content. What do you think of Michael Massey? Massa? It's Massey, M-A-S-I. An Aussie too. Track limits seemed unnecessary. No, look, I'm not even across that conversation. So I'm useless in that respect. Who have I got here? Hope you have a great week in Imola, says X Who Gaff X. Who Gaff? Yeah, so do I. Look, I'm delighted I got here early. I had a lovely 9 nights in Bologna, and that's a beautiful place. Not that I could get out that much, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a great place. Dennis needs to study up on NFT too. I'll be sure to check it out. Yes, non-fungible tokens. People are making huge money out of it, and look, I can't tell you why people are making big money out of it, but it is a thing. As much as you probably didn't think that Bitcoin was ever going to last, and it has, this may be the same thing. And of course, getting in early is a win. Video on driver sunglasses, possibly, yes. Although I don't think any of them are going to be wearing sunnies this race, unless they're doing it for promotional purposes, which some may have to do. Very cold out there. I reckon it's about 14, get down to 6 overnight. Drives to Survive Season 3. I did a whole video on that, Phineas, and I really enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit contrived, and you know what? When I was watching it, I didn't really overly think it. I just love the beautiful way it's presented. It's very rich visually and audibly. They sound sweet and a lot of the stuff, as you probably realise, crashes with big noise and everything. But I love it. I think it's fantastic that the sport has that sort of content about it. It certainly has helped the sport. Remember, with 500 people here, 450 odd, you need to super chat if you definitely want to get your answer from a question. Otherwise, I will endeavour to get through as many. Whose photography work influenced you the most? Well, I got interested in photography about 12 years ago with Joe McNally. I loved his stuff. He's not an F1 photographer, and F1 photography-wise, I like Vladimir Rees, I like Florent Gooden, Mark Thompson's been very good to me. Some names, and Mark Sutton was very good when I worked with Suttons going back 3 years ago now. But yeah, really enjoyable pastime, as you know. Have I missed anyone here? I don't want to miss. Yeah, okay, I've got them. Good. What did you do before you were a photographer? Go and have a look at kimillman.com. You'll see my companies, which I still run all the way from Europe back to Australia. I did try the ice cream, and I thought it was a little bit rich. In fact, I had two. I had the chocolate and the strawberry last night. Thank you for the suggestion. I know Mariana Becker. I didn't mention her because I didn't take a photo of her. If I don't take a photo of them, they don't get mentioned. That's the deal. I saw her at the airport on the way out in Bahrain, and we had a chat. I said, look at these people asking about you. We will see who I see this weekend, but I do know Federica Maslin's back here with Davide Valsecchi, and Italians will know and love those two, and quite rightly so. They are fine people and very knowledgeable in the sport. Davide was an ex-racer. Hello, Las Vegas. I love Vegas. I always stay at the Wynn Encore Tower Suites. Oh, fantastic hotel. One of my 3 or 4 best hotels in the world. How much do F1 pay Michael Massey? I don't know why you would think I would know the answer to that question. You'd have just as much idea as me. What about coffee? I don't drink coffee. No answer. Who's your favourite driver? I've done that. Best YouTube algorithm tips. I've got no idea. I've fluked it with YouTube. I don't know, maybe I'm doing really well, maybe I'm doing lousy, I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Did you see the glowing Ayrton Senna signs in Imola? Yeah, I took a photo of them. The lights, I put one up on my story post. Are the cases in Canada going up, or why is it going to be cancelled? Because of the quarantine situation, much like Australia. The quarantining is too tricky. Hello, Kirsten, are you from the Philippines? ¿Cómo está? Favourite Drive to Survive season. This one, and I loved episode 9. The story of Roman Grosjean's crash was fantastic. It just showed so much, and I think everyone would have a real love of Roman he's just a gentleman, an absolute gentleman. Are you planning to photograph around Jeddah? I don't know. I don't know what if we're not allowed to out of the hotel, which is a lot of our restrictions so far. No, but if I am, yeah. Let's say COVID's gone and we're free to move about, you bet. And I'll probably arrive there early. Thoughts on Singapore? Well, I believe we're probably going to have a Australia-Singapore hub, which is great, but not any good for F1 coming from different places. So I don't think, if there's quarantine involved, you won't see F1 there. Just not going to happen. And it's unfortunate, but that is it. What is your food? Well, here it's a lot of Italian food and pasta. In fact, I think I've eaten ham and cheese for about 2 of 3 meals every day for the last week, and I've got to stop it. Favourite F1 team? No favourite. The algorithm works due to audience retention, simple terms, cut out all the boring bits and get straight to the point. Okay, yeah. And I'm mindful when I do videos, I don't let it drag on too long. You've got to get people in the first few seconds, a bit like TikTok. I love TikTok, but I couldn't think I'd have much content for that. But it's fascinating stuff, and I do get hooked on it. How many races do you think there will be? I think there'll be 23, because if they replace Canada, they'll stick one at Mugello perhaps, or another track that they've used in the past. Hopefully Istanbul, because I'd love to go there. We'll give you a quick look outside here, see how things are going. Hopefully I don't drop you off the edge. Whoops. What have I done there? No, there we go. So that's the street out there. And that's the other side. It's very quiet. A few people around, but I think everyone's at home. Is the Race Fans article about driver salaries accurate? Well, is there a new one out? Because I'll do a story on that. Yeah, I think has as much idea as anybody, Dieter. And no team will ever tell you how much they're paying their driver, but other teams will tell you what they suspect that team is paying their driver. And that's often how he and everybody would get their information. Never been to Mugello. Don't even know where it is. It's somewhere around here, isn't it? Have you changed the broadcast channel? Mariana changed the broadcast. Oh, I've disappeared that comment. Yes, you can see the ceiling. There you go. Isn't that lovely? That's one, and then there's another one in here. Look at this one. That's pretty nice. Yeah. someone's done a fair bit of work, and this building dates back to the 1800s, I believe. I imagine it's a little bit echoey. But there you go. Thank you for dropping the link to the article. American track, would you want to... I don't know many, if any. Would you be willing to drive an F1 car? Yeah, but that's never going to happen, is it? And I'd be very careful about being a passenger, because apparently it makes you violently ill if you're at all queasy. And I have been sick once on a ride at the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas. It was a car racing thing, and I was sick after going on it. So Mariana changed the broadcast channel alongside F1, and the F1 Brazilian love her as a journalist and reporter. Yeah, she's highly regarded. Funny lady. I've chatted to her on a number of occasions. She's poked her tongue out at me a couple of times for photographs. Rightio. Hello from Slovenia. I don't watch Formula One anymore. Okay, well, start again, please. Is it raining? It has been raining. It will be raining for the race. We've got a couple of nice days. I believe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are okay, but then it's going to get wet on the Saturday and Sunday. Would you be photographing the Aussie F2? Oscar, well, I know his trainer well. I did photograph him the other day. Nice kid. Managed by Mark Webber. Did you know that? No, I don't photograph any other motorsports. Atmosphere in Imola, lovely. Oh, and just 100 metres there, down opposite the Co-op supermarket, when I went down there last night to get something to eat for dinner, there was this beautiful slideshow up on the wall of a building, and it was quite beautiful. And then the night before that, I photographed my first ever Pagani Zonda, which was there, and there was also a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and some other exotic car parked in that square. It's quite beautiful. We just need the temperature to warm up a little bit. 22 would be nice and no wind. Any memorable moments from Kyalami? No, never been there. Don't know where it is. I know it's South Africa, obviously. Thank you, David, for deleting a message. Do you have a favourite camera or lens? Yeah, I use 1DX Mark IIIs. Love the camera. And the favourite lens, it changes. I like the 85 on a sunny day with a polarizer. Took some stunning pics in America going back a while now, and I think more often I have to use that 85. But then I've got to be careful, because I've got to be the right distance from somebody with a zoom. You're lazy, you can just use the zoom to get in close and zoom out. The apartment is stunning. It's a ripper, isn't it? Just lovely. Crazy predictions for Imola. None at all. Albert Park circuit changes. I lost a really nice shot that I liked. I was disappointed with that, but it is what it is. Where do I buy my glasses? Well, these are Lindberghs, and they're really nice and light, but I've got to get a new pair. I've got another pair as well that's here somewhere, but they're a little bit heavier, and I really like light glasses. But of course, with lightness comes damage. What you prefer, tripod, monopod, or handheld? Well, you wouldn't have a monopod or a tripod for a wide angle. You only need a monopod or tripod for a long lens. And so with my 600mm, I always use a monopod, which is actually, you can't see this, but I've got my phone and the microphone on a Manfrotto clamp, and it's stuck on top of this monopod so that I can do this. I can swing around very easily like that, see? And you couldn't really do that with a tripod. I don't know why when I do that, I lose all the comments. I don't know who's going to win. Max. We'll say Max. Why? Because it's freezing in the house, that's why. And besides, I had the door open for a while doing some other video, and all the warmth that I had in here went outside into the street. So that's why I'm rugged up, because it is bloody cold. No other events apart from F1, no. Hello, X-Mob. P1 Max, P2 Checo, P3 Yuki. Wow, that would be a big payout with the bookmakers. Thank you, David, for sorting out the crap on here. How much have you spent on all your gear? Too much. But my photographs improve with the better gear. There's no doubt about it. The new 1DX Mark III is a markedly better camera than the Mark II. 438 people. It's great that you're all joining in here in Imola on a cold, grey day. First day, I arrived in Bologna. It was 26, stinking hot. Then it was 22 the next day. Lovely. I had some lovely days, but the weather's just got colder. Do you cook your own food? Sometimes, but not very often. When I say cook, I'll go and buy, because here in Italy it's fantastic. You can go and buy pretty much everything that's pre-made, steaks that have got crumbs on them, schnitzels and that sort of stuff, and you stick them in the oven, whack a salad together, because that's what you have to do, because you can't go and sit at a restaurant and it's bloody awful. Are you allowed in the paddock? No, not allowed to go in the paddock. And I'm not sure when that's going to change. I'd like to think later this year, but I hold no real hope. Never. Oh yeah, I've been to the Netherlands once, ages ago, as a 20-year-old. When are you going to post the Pagani zonda? Oh, it's a shocking picture. It was only from my phone as I walked past to get something to eat. I'll be flying to Portugal. Best pizza you've had so far? Nothing memorable, nothing sensational. I tend to leave it till the last minute and just buy whatever I can find close, because editing video, I don't know whether you realise this, but some of these videos can take up to 8 hours editing, and by that time I've had enough. Hello DMD9, your little blue comment came up. If you want to get your comment answered, go to Super Chat. And if you haven't joined as a member on my channel, I invite you to do so. Here we go. Somebody is from Europe. Where are you from? Folha de Papel. I think you've commented before. The big F1 dilemma applied to photography. Which is more important, man or machine? I'm not sure what that question means. The F1 dilemma applied to photography, which is more important. I'll answer the question I think you're asking, and you can tell me if I've answered the right question. For me, with my photography, I prefer to shoot people, because I think there's more of a story with people rather than the cars. Cars are nice, and occasionally I take a great picture, I get excited. But for me, I'm more interested in the people and the stories behind them. Thank you for your question, though. What's your favourite corner to shoot? Okay, I like Exeter swimming pool at Monaco, because we are 60 centimetres from the wheels of the car. And I also like Eau Rouge, but to shoot Eau Rouge you have to invest a whole session, because you can't anymore go in and out. Previously you can go and spend 10 minutes there. Now you've got to stay there the whole session or the whole race, because you can't easily move about, which is a shame. What's more important, equipment or the photographer? Okay, right, well I'll answer that question. No, it has to be both. It has to be both. You need to know where to stand and what the shot is going to look like, and occasionally when I get that right, I love it, but otherwise it's always a bit of a guess. But you have to have the right gear. You've got to be. You always get better photos if you can shoot at 15 frames a second compared with 5. You've got 15 chances instead of 5, so you're 3 times more likely to get a better shot with a camera that shoots faster and that has better autofocus. Would I like to see an F1 race at Bathurst? Well, that'd be great, but there's not enough accommodation around there, I wouldn't have thought. Well, maybe there is. I don't think it'd ever happen, would you? They'd have to spend millions, tens of millions, to get it up to standard of one. Yes, I'd like to shoot at Istanbul, definitely. Hello, Portugal. I'm coming there in a week and a bit. Driver are provided the car. Yeah, the teams will provide the cars for the drivers or pay for them. Sometimes they just let the drivers go out and get what they want to get to the track. But this will be interesting, because my video that I did recently, which was the drivers' cars that they drive to the track, did really well. And I'll get back to your question in a second. Actually, I'll answer Folhas first. That's not what I was asking, but a chap in the chat phrased it better. Very interesting. Okay, yeah. So as I mentioned before, that's what I think. I think it's a blend of both the camera and the photographer. I forgot what I was saying before, sorry. You should visit Lisbon. Oh, I'm going to stay in Lisbon, I think. Don't know about Porto. I've been watching that show about Madeleine McCann. I've been learning all about Algarve and Praia de Luz, whatever it's called. Fascinating. I miss Nico. The magic of a good pick, all this fast shutter speed. No, because you don't have to shoot at a fast shutter speed. If I want to do some stuff where I have to see everything crystal clear, maybe I'm doing a story on sponsors on a car, I'll shoot at 5,000th of a second. If I want to try some arty stuff, yeah, I'll do 10th of a second and know that I'll get every 30th shot reasonably sharp. But I love digital, absolutely love it. I'd hate to be doing it in the days of film. I couldn't do what I do now for you if I was doing film, because you rely on, I think you rely or you appreciate on Instagram anyway, that you get to see what's happened, minutes, sometimes even seconds after it's happened, if I can get a good connection and get a post up quickly. Precautions do I take while photographing at a wet race? I'll show, no, I don't have it here. I've got wet weather kit for my long lens and my 70-200, so you've got to dress your camera up in that, and that ensures it doesn't get wet. And then I've got a bright orange raincoat and some wet weather pants and some reasonably weather resistant shoes, but it's just uncomfortable. And I really should take an umbrella if it's raining. See how I go. Are drones allowed? No, you can't use drones. Watkins Glen. I've seen a couple of races at Watkins Glen, but I don't care where they are. I like Austin, it's a nice city. I'd love one in Vegas, absolutely Vegas, that would be great. Get there well early and leave well late from those races. How many shots? Thousands. I normally take about 4,000 shots a day. Probably a little bit less now because we don't have quite the action in the paddock, and I get left with 1,000 shots at the end of a weekend. Questions. We've been going 41 minutes and we'll probably do an hour. If you want to get your question to the top, hit the super chat button. I did actually see a drone, whoever was asking about drones. We had one, Brazil one year, but they had it tethered. So the drone could go up, and it was a sizable drone, but it was on a rope. And obviously the rope was, so let's say 80 metres high. They get the thing 80 metres high. But if it went rogue, it would only go in an 80-metre arc, and obviously that was never going to end up on the track. So that was a good way, I guess, of making sure that it didn't cause any damage on track. What do I expect Jeddah to be like? Well, the track looks beautiful. I just don't know. I know we have to be very careful there about what we say and do. One would be on our best behaviour, there's no doubt. There won't be any alcohol, I don't think. Although, no, I don't know. I don't think there's any alcohol there. Favourite airline? Emirates I like. Yeah. Travel tip today? No, you don't get a travel tip unless I have to research one. Favourite photo ever taken in the paddock? Gee, that's hard. If I think of something, I'll run it past you. Flippo Beach, please keep it to English. Yes, thank you, David. Good man. Your wife was really playful in one video. How do you guys keep it strong while away? Oh, we talk every day. Oftentimes we'll have a WhatsApp call going for an hour and a half, and I'm just editing and she's off doing whatever she's doing. But we're expecting a cyclone to cross the coast in Lancelin as we speak. For those of you who know anything about Lancelin, 90 minutes north of Perth, and very rarely do we ever get a cyclone down that low. But there is one that we've been warned about, that it's on its way, and it's a red alert. Stay inside, wait for the winds. I don't know where I'll be at the race in Imola. I have absolutely no idea. I don't even know how tricky it is to get around. My limited scouting the other day suggested it's going to be tricky. I'm a Qantas frequent flyer, for anybody asking. Could a team hire you? Yes, but I don't think they would. And I don't know whether I'd want to do it anyway. I'm reading your messages here. What do you do when you're bored? I haven't been bored yet. Oh, okay, well, yeah, I watch stuff on television or go for a walk. As I said, I've been averaging about 12 k's a day when not at the track, which is good for me because, I like walking. How do you think Max and Checo will do together? Very well. I think they're both now mature guys. Max mature, and Checo's just a really cool sort of guy, very relaxed and got good people around him. India is craving for a race. Okay, put one on. Let's go there. There are many photographer spots around tracks usually. Yeah, there are. Some more than others. Monaco is fantastic. There's spots everywhere. A lot of it's just shooting over there's no wire, which is great. My dream is photography. Any tips? Yeah, take lots of photos. Just keep taking them. You don't have to do a course. You just have to keep taking photos and look at stuff on the internet. You don't need to do a university degree. You can do it a lot faster yourself. Do I ever pick up carbon fibre pieces? No, I've never seen one on the track. What's a market demographic has surprised you that you have a sizable YouTube? Well, my YouTube audience is 18 to 35. 62% of my audience is that age group, and 84% male. So I would suggest that 84% of you are males, and the vast majority are in that age group. I wouldn't think there's too many younger or older. Am I cold? Yeah, I am very bloody cold because I have this window open here and it's only about 12 degrees outside. Do you miss people on Grand Prix waiting for Portugal? I don't know. Do you miss people on Grand Prix? Don't know what that means. What is your spot on the track? Oh, I've got no idea where I'm going to be, as I mentioned before. Could be anywhere. Female, 59, England. Joe Davey, you're bucking the trend. You're absolutely bucking the trend. You are right on my outer limits of everything. So welcome along. The window's closed. Look, window is closed, but it's still bloody cold in here. And every time I move the camera or the phone, all your messages disappear. All right. Female, 19 from Sydney. Female, 8 months. That's very young. Wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand what I'm saying. Female, 39, Canada. Well done. Now, I'm interested, what does a 39-year-old female in Canada or a 59-year-old female in Britain love about Formula One? Is it the racing? Is it the story? What is it? I'm keen to find out. Yes, I had the ice cream. Do you think Hulkenberg's return... Yeah, I think it's great because he's reserve driver for 2 teams. Okay, so it's good that we do have some females on here. Hello, Jenny, 47 from the US. Male, 21, Spanish and Scottish. You too, well done. How can I be an F1 commentator? I don't know. I don't know how anyone can be anything. You've just got to be it. Someone has to be it. It could be you. You've just got to be there at the right moment, don't you? Why do you always wear a style? Well, today I've worn this every day outside because it's cold. Look at alum. Okay, don't understand that one. Did you study journalism? No, I didn't study anything. I studied nothing. I just went to high school and then I went and worked in a bank. Then I went to Radio 8D in Darwin. And then I went to a TV station, lasted 2 years and got sacked. I started my own business and that's it. I would not be a very good employee for anyone now, having run my business for 32 years. I just do what I like to do. 15-year-old male from Germany. Good. Oh, yes. Speaking of young German guys, I photographed Liram Zindali the other day at the track. Lovely kid. Didn't have a great weekend, but yeah, he's racing in F2. Are there any live audiences for this season? Well, certainly not this race, and not Portugal. Austin, I know that a lot of people are buying Paddock Club packages for Austin, Texas. So there is hope that obviously there are going to be spectators there, but I don't know about Europe. I just don't know. And I think sometimes it may come about in the last 3 or so weeks before a race. Somebody had tickets to Monaco for 2020 cancelled, yeah. Well, they're keen to go ahead, and you might have seen my post recently where they've put up the grandstands. They're going up. So it looks like it's all systems go. Hey, Kim. Was that Uber from below? It wasn't Uber, it was a driver, yeah. Yeah, it was a nice drive, except we spent 20 minutes trying to work out how to get in here because out there is a pedestrian zone. Kimi Räikkönen with a Y. I meant Kim Elman being an inspiration to the boys. Sorry, autocorrect. Okay, thank you, Mark. Well, I'm glad I'm an inspiration to someone. I've inspired my eldest son to fire up with YouTube. I've suggested he can do a whole year with it and we'll support him. And he has to make a go of it, see if he can find an income out of it. You can make a good income out of it if you're good. Hello to Lee Bolton from Perth, where I know it's warm, and this evening very little wind in Lancelin before this pending cyclone. Texas is completely open. Get out, full capacity, UFC fights. Geez, I tell you what, that's amazing. Coming from Australia, where we don't let anybody in, and we got rid of it. And then you see these other countries where they've got, like here in Europe, it's just rampant. In which hotel do you usually stay in Singapore? Lots. I have no one favourite there. Damn, your son is very talented. Well, he comes from very good stock. There's no doubt of that. And despite the fact that he sometimes doesn't give us credit, I think deep down he knows that he's on a good thing and he's supported all the way. Can get a bit cocky though. But hey, aren't we all like that? Hello, Joe, big brother to Charlie. What current daytime race would you improve? Somebody asked this the other day. I can't think of anything. I need to consider that question rather than pull an answer straight off the top of my head. Hello, Nika. I'm glad you like my channel, the best insider info. Yeah, well, it's just gravitated to that. I'd like to say I had a plan, but no, it's just gravitated that. I was always advised by some people in F1 to go out and do something different, and I didn't realise this was the different that I would be doing. But it is fun, there's no doubt of that, and it's good to have your attention and to provide an audience for the stuff that I do. 100%. Oh, 60,000 at Optus Stadium, Lee. Nice. Did the Eagles win? I can't remember. I saw something the other day. How do you get used to the weather? You don't have a choice. You just do it. You just do it. Like I've shot in 44 degrees heat in Bahrain once, and then the other end of the scale was the Thursday of the 2019 US GP. I have never been colder. In fact, I went out and bought this Moncler jacket in, where was it? I landed in Dallas. Yeah, and I went straight out and got this. It's a necessity. So you just do what you have to do. No, I never photographed Bathurst, Paul, but I have entered a car in the Bathurst 12 hour, and it came fifth. I wasn't driving it, it was my car, and yeah, it was interesting. Big day. I don't think anything of 18-inch wheels. Did I expect such a huge following? I expect more than this. I think we're just starting. Nice to see though, and lovely to have 443 people tuning in, whether or not you've just got it on in the background or whether you're actually listening and reading, whatever the case. It's lovely to have your attention and to share with you, because in this year, and this is why I thought I'd come away this year and take a punt, because no one else is providing you, I imagine, with this sort of feedback. There's people doing their own different things, but it's not this thing, and I would suggest that there is an audience for this thing. Thank you, David, for sorting out some people who are carrying on here. It's nice to have a mediator or moderator, and that was a suggestion from you people that I get one, and then David put his hand up, which is most grateful. He's a Canadian, and whether or not he'll be seeing a race this year, we are discussing whether or not that's possible. Nemo, who gets to open your 100k subscriber award, considering you won't be around to get it? Well, see, it's interesting. Who is the 100,000th subscriber, Nemo? Because what will happen is you'll tick over from 99,999 to 100,000, right? And then that person will be the 100,000. Then you get three that drop off, and you'll go back to 97, and then you'll get another 100,000th subscriber, and then you'll get another one until you get well over that. Because I thought of doing something special for it, but you'd have to sit and watch it and try and work out. But I don't know. Perhaps you could make a suggestion. I'm happy to give something away because it's a milestone. And I did this, actually, you know what? I did a video for my 100,000th YouTube, Instagram. I could put that up, rehash that. But yeah, I'll do something. I don't know when it's going to be. I'll get a rough idea, won't I? So thank you for your question. And if you want your question to jump to the head of the queue, go to Super Chat. Now it's getting a bit warm in here, so maybe I don't need to have this quite so tight around my neck. You could give them a Rolex too. I'm not doing that. I don't think I'm going to have to give one to my son. But I won't write him off because anything could happen. Questions have all disappeared. They'll come back. I did think the other day it'd be nice to have a camera set up at the other side of the road here, facing across, and using radio mics do something to camera from the other side. That would be great. but I'd have to get the attention of those people over there and then go and put the camera over there, press record, have it all set up, and you do it, and then you get back and have a look at the vision and you didn't do something right. I have a 19 and a 21-year-old son. Is the answer to that question. Do you think there'll be a top three this weekend? Max, Lewis, Bottas, there you go. What order, who knows? I only brought 2 scars with me. Oh, Montreal just imposed a new curfew. I read about that. Why hasn't F1 cancelled the race? I don't know. Now, you've got to be careful there, because if F1 cancels it, there's there would be a drama for them. If the organiser cancels it, there'd be a lot of politics involved in this, and they do have to get it right. No more American races. COTA is a joke of a track. Okay, not a fan. YouTube, yeah, I know, I get a silver play button plaque. Now, maybe I could get a hole put in it and I could wear it in a chain around my neck. Do you bring a book or e-reader? No, I can't. I have no room in my suitcase. More than half of what I carry is cables and crap. And I carry my camera gear with me in a bag, but yeah, there's very little room left for clothing and other stuff. So if I get a book, I read it and I leave it in a place. No, look, I'm too lazy to read a book anyway. 56 minutes and we're nearly finished. If you could pick what track is season final, where would you pick? I'm happy with Abu Dhabi. It's great. It's halfway home for me from Europe too, which is nice. I've answered that question a million times. There's no bold person on the grid this year. Are you disgraced by this? Bold person? No, I'm not disgraced. Who do you think would win the F2? I've got no idea. I don't even know who's any good. I know Oscar won a race recently. I don't know. If I had some sort of knowledge of that competition, I might know more. What's the most fun aspect of your adventures? Fun? Fun. I'd like to say I go out and do crazy stuff, but I don't. It's just boring and laborious. I think the stuff that I like is getting a great shot at the track, or doing a video that goes crazy, something like a Women of F1, Wives and Girlfriends, where you get 1 million views. That's always nice to know that sort of stuff gels with an audience. Can you come home sometimes? No, I can't. If I do, I have to do 2 weeks in a hotel. And as you know, there's only one long break to come, so I'd have to go home, do 2 weeks in a hotel, and I get 5 days at home and have to come back. What a waste of time and money. It's like going to prison for 2 weeks. I don't think Checo could be world champion. This year, how many travel days? Almost all of them, from early March to just after Christmas. Any meat pies? No meat pies in Italy I've seen. Favourite track to shoot at? Monaco. No, I don't think Lando will get a podium this week, but who's to know? Do I try the local foods? Well, I'm eating nothing but pasta at the moment, and way too much of it. Wristwatches, I didn't bring one. I just bought an Apple Watch, which is great for getting reminders during the race from people who look out for me and send me WhatsApp messages saying Mazepin spun, and I got that message about Mazepin spin well before I heard it in my earphones through the BBC broadcast, which I listened to, and is well delayed, probably 30 or 40 seconds. Favourite rookie? Don't have a favourite yet. The weather, you've just joined Chris, obviously, because it's cold, rainy, grey. It's going to warm up a little bit until Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday are forecast rain. And 14, that's not a lot of degrees. We need more degrees. We need the ones at the top. They're like the 15 to 20, they're the degrees we need. Now, did you see my video that I did on Ayrton Senna's memorial? Have a look at that, posted it yesterday. This afternoon this evening, I'll be putting up a video of Daniel Ricciardo photos set to music, and only Daniel Ricciardo fans are to watch that, please. Don't get sucked in if you're not a Daniel fan. What else? Been to Bahrain. I've been a Bahrain resident for 15 years. What do you think of the country? I liked it a lot more this time. I spent a lot of time there. Would have been nice if I could have got out a bit more, but not the case. Maybe next year. I liked the fact that they did testing there. That saved me a lot of dicking around, coming to Europe and then going back. A couple more questions and then we will call it a day. Favourite food in Italy? I quite like the lasagna. I shouldn't eat it, but it's fantastic. George, will he score any points? Not in that car. Me too poor to go to F1 race. Well, not even rich people can go to races at the moment, so you're the same as everyone else. As a child, no, I didn't watch F1. Probably watched it as a teenager, early 20s. Do you have a view from your room? Yeah, there you go. That's the view. I'll show again for those people who come late. Right. Out there and out there. There you go. What do you think of that? That's my camera on a monopod. That's how easy it is. Do you have any inside info or gossip? Yes, I do. If you were with me here in the room, I'd tell you it, or I'd tell my members. I'd share it with my members. Vince, thank you. You're looking forward to the vids this weekend. Stay safe. Now, I do hope I get a chance to produce a video this weekend, but it's pretty tricky during the week, unless I want to stay up and work all hours. But anyway, I'll see what I can do. No guarantees. Hopefully something very interesting happens and I'm right there and I can do a 10-minute video and talk about that thing. Hello, Jishan. What's one thing you would change about F1? Oh, it'd let me back in the paddock. That's the thing I'd change, and I'd change it very quickly. But I don't have that power, and I don't think it's going to happen any time soon. See, every time I move this phone, it renders the comments not visible. Hello, Kelly again. Will there be a new girlfriend? Yes, but I still got to shoot Sarah, Lance's girlfriend. I need some updated pics of Minto. I missed her. And there's one other female I did not shoot on the weekend I knew was there. But yes, it will come when I've got enough ammo. Enjoy a cafe on me. Thanks for the sharing and love the content. My pleasure, new type. I appreciate your support. I'll probably buy an ice cream. How about that? Because I don't drink coffee. Or half a pasta. Does Lando have a girlfriend? I don't believe so. Yes, I know Max's girlfriend, and I know Kelly reasonably well enough to talk to anyway. And a couple more questions, and then I'll let you get back to what you were doing on your Sunday. Would I like to shoot Formula E? Well, there was a race, when was it? It might be today, isn't it? In Rome, but I can't go down there. Not accredited for it anyway. One last question, and I'll pick something interesting that I have not seen before. No, keep coming. More questions, please. I haven't found one I like yet. Can Checo score? Have you spotted? No, I've never. Okay, the last question. Have I ever seen Seb's wife, Hannah? Never. I've never seen her at a race, and I don't believe she's been to a race in my time. So, no. In fact, in past when I've done videos on wives and girlfriends, I've had to just go and find something off the net and use that. So with that said, I'm going to thank you very much for all of your attention, and I do invite you to check back later on my page for a video about, well, it's not about, it's just a music video with Daniel Ricciardo pictures, which I think you'll like. And remember, you can get all my pics at prostarpics.com. And if you haven't ordered one of my photo books, you can get them at kimillman.com. You'll see all of my pics live from the track, the best ones, minutes after being taken, at Instagram at Kim Illman. And thank you very much for your time today. So, ciao, bye.